at the shooting bench and we need to connect our tablet to the camera system. Now we're using a Ranger system today, so we're going to hop into our Wi-Fi settings. There's our Ranger Wi-Fi network. The password is Longshot, all lowercase. We'll wait for the blue check mark to appear, meaning it's connected. And now we're ready to hop back to the Longshot app. So once the app detects that it's connected to a Longshot network, it scans for cameras and finds our Ranger. Now we can go ahead and hop into the live video feed and we're ready to start shooting. So let's walk through these features one at a time with some live fire. So we can see that first shot right there. If we're unsure if that's what it actually is, we'll use our shot blinker feature. And because that's our first shot and we didn't push this button soon enough, we just set the baseline for our next few shots. So let's go ahead and mark this. That marker is obviously far too large. We'll tap on the marker icon and shrink this down until it fits that impact. So right about there. Now we'll use the blinker feature again, and we can clearly see that's our new shot. When you tap the screen while it's blinking, it stops the blinking and places a shot marker all in one step. Okay, go ahead and tap the blinker again. You can see a shot was placed just on top there. So that was a 3-shot group. Let's go ahead and change our group color and we'll change our point of aim just a little bit. All right, so we've shot 2 groups there. We've got 2 different colors to designate each separate group. You've seen the shot marker settings. You can also adjust the transparency on these markers. If you want to make that easier, just lessen this transparency and it'll make the shot markers more transparent so you can see behind them easier. And then we've also been using our shot blinker feature as well to help identify those new holes. Now, if you tap and hold on the shot blinker feature, you can change the time that it will blink for. It defaults to 10 seconds. You can increase it up to 20 seconds and down to 5 seconds. There's also an option for infinity blink. So that will just continue blinking until you tap the screen. Let's say you're having a hard time finding your impacts or the wind's really blowing and you're not exactly sure where that impact's gonna land, then you can use that infinity blink. And right now, let's just do an example of that real quick. Okay, so I took a shot, but I don't see where it is, right? Well, now I need to zoom out. I need to start panning around. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. So I can zoom in here now. It's going to keep blinking. If it was somewhere up here, I've got time to navigate the target while I'm zoomed in. Another feature here in the blinker menu is we can go back and replay some of these impacts. So we can go back to our first impact and we can see where that new shot appears. So we've got that history there. And then if we want to, we can also do that for a string of shots. We can tap here to here and it will replay all of these different shot blinker images that we took over time. So that pretty well covers the blinker feature. There's a couple other shot marker features that I want to touch on real quickly. 6, we placed it incorrectly, right? I can tap and hold this and it will remove shot marker 6 and 7 renumbers to 6. So if you've inadvertently placed a shot marker and need to delete that, you don't have to undo a bunch of previous ones. You can just remove the accidental one. And then now 6, let's say that's also accidental at this point. Tap this little rewind button here and it will undo shot markers one at a time. So tap, 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 those just go away. Now if I tap and hold, I get the option to clear all the shot markers and start fresh. So if I were going down to replace my targets, then I could clear all the shot markers and not have to just keep pushing that button over and over. You can also hide shot markers. So if you tap and hold the marker icon, it'll go gray and the shot markers will just temporarily hide. So if you don't want them to block your view of the target, then this is another option. Tap and hold again, and they'll come right back. Everything is saved. Also down here in the toolbar, we've got our snapshot and record button, which is the orange button in the middle. We've just taken a snapshot, just tap that once. You'll see the snapshot temporarily appear here. Tap and hold to record your screen. You can choose to record screen and microphone or screen only. I like to do screen and microphone. That's going to record the microphone from the tablet and save that with the image. And this is just going to record everything that you do on the screen will be saved into your gallery. And then the last item in our toolbar down here is going to be a quick link to the gallery. So if you want to hop over to your gallery, see any pictures or videos that you've taken during your session at the range, you can. Here's our two pictures that we've taken, and then the video that we've taken as well with the audio. Now while we're in here, I'll show you real quickly how to share these. If you want to send them to someone or save them to the gallery on your device, you're going to want to use the share icon here. It's going to bring up the default share menu for your device. You can save this image to your gallery or send it to whoever you want. You can also favorite these as well. So if you want to save this image for later and quickly access it, just tap that favorite button. And lastly, we can delete them from here as well. When you're in the main gallery view with all of the images and videos, you can also tap and hold and select multiple videos or images. You'll get the little check mark down here in the bottom right of the image, which means it's selected. Tap that share button and you can do the same thing. Save those to your gallery or share them with someone else. That covers all the features in the bottom toolbar here. You've got this little camera with the reversal button. That's going to be our selfie camera mode. So to demonstrate that real quickly, we'll turn that on and you can see, I can position this however I want. If I want to see the gun and the bolt operating while I'm shooting, I can set that up to do that. And then I've also got the ability to tap and hold on this, and I can place it anywhere in the video feed that I want. I can increase its size to whatever size I want, tap out of that, and it locks it in place. And then I can still zoom and pan on the image behind. X out of it, it's going to move that and save the last setting that we had on it. So we'll do that again. We'll tap and hold, shrink this down, bring it back down to the bottom, tap outside, and close. All right, so the next feature to touch on is going to be our multi-camera feature, which is going to be accessible here. If you do have a kit with multiple cameras, you can quickly switch between those cameras here in this top right menu where you see the camera icon. Just tap that, it'll expand. You can scan for cameras here with the refresh button, and then you can also quickly select different cameras here as well. When you switch between cameras, any shot markers that you have placed on say camera 1's video feed versus camera 2's video feed, those will remain in place as you switch back and forth between them. And then just keep in mind the LR3 is the only system that supports multi-cameras and that functionality. And so the last feature and our most advanced feature to discuss right now is going to be the measurements feature, which is designated by this small ruler icon here next to the camera icon. Once you tap that, you'll see a prompt to set reference point 1. And so we'll come in here, we'll take some part of the target that we know the distance of. Now this is all 1-inch grids here on this target. We will tap here on one of those. We'll set reference point 2. We'll tap here. I know that that is 2 inches between those two items. And then we'll set a point of aim. I'm going to set my point of aim right here. And then we pause to check everything and confirm placement. You can tap and hold and move these to the exact location that you want them to be in if you need to make any adjustments, and then confirm placement. Like I said, this is 2 inches between reference point 1 and 2, and we are shooting at 100 yards. Right now we've got group size turned on in inches and minutes of angle. We've got group width and height in inches, and we have adjustment to 0 turned off and grid overlay turned off. So let's see what group size and width and height look like, and then we'll step through the next 2 features. If you noticed, I did not push the shot blinker button in between those last 2 shots. And so if I push that now, it's actually going to blink those 2 shots together. So it's showing you the difference between the last time you push that button and the most current time that you push it. I'll go ahead and mark that. We can move our group cards around here. I'll bring them somewhere a little more prevalent. We are on group 3. And this group has an extreme spread of 0.85 MOA or 0.89 inches and width of 0.25 inches and height of 0.85. Now if I want, I can add any notes to this group. I'll put the rifle, and then I can tap and hold this card. It'll pop out onto the screen. I can close it, expand it, open and close the notes, and I can take a picture of that and save that to the gallery as a record of this group or this load. I can also turn on the selfie cam again if I want to get a picture of the rifle in there with it. I can do that, and now I've got a complete picture of the performance of that load. And then I can tap this and condense it down on the screen here, or I can tap and hold and redock it back to the side. These group cards can also be moved around the screen. If you want it to be in a different position, you can do that. Up here we've got an option to set a new point of aim. You're going to want to tap this orange button. You've got an option to add a point of aim. We'll tap here in the middle of the group. Position this. Let's see, we've got to choose a new group color. Continue, and then confirm our placement. Okay, so any new measurements will be based off of this point of aim now. That becomes especially relevant when we turn on the adjustment to 0 feature, which we'll do now. And I will hold off the target, off the point of aim to demonstrate this. You've got this new X that's showing up. This is the calculated average center point of the group. And so we can expand our group card here. We've got our adjustment to 0 details here. And then while we're here, let's take a look at the grid feature as well. We'll go ahead and turn this grid overlay on. You can see it show up on the screen now. And it's not going to be perfectly aligned because these targets aren't level, but you can also use this if you don't have a grid and you want to see that to help you better evaluate the adjustments that you need to make. We can change this to a mil grid. That's 0.1 mils. This is going to be 0.2 mil grid and a half mil grid. And then we can also do a minute of angle. We can do quarter minutes, half minutes, and 1 minute of angle grid for that as well. Again, you can pop these out and drag them out anywhere that you want. Each individual card, tap and hold the card, it pops out. You can tap and hold multiple cards and pop those out. This group is calculated off of point of aim 2. These are all calculated off of point of aim 1. And then again, if we want to just record this, we can tap, take a screenshot. If we want to log what the rifle was, we'll just put all that in there, tap, and get a screenshot of that as well. You can adjust the reference point and point of aim mid-string if needed by clicking here. And if we placed this wrong, or maybe we decided we wanted to 0 here for point of aim 2 instead, you can quickly hop in there and adjust that at any time, and then just confirm that placement. So now let's hop back to the dashboard and go through the other features here. So at the bottom, you can access the gallery. There's everything that we just went through. There's the last image that we took. That's got our group stats, group sizes, target picture, everything there. Tap this icon on the far right. That's our More tab. You can change the language here. You've got an option to export the measurement data. You've got an option to export the measurement data, which is to support an integration that we're pretty excited about that's coming in the near future. And then you've also got the ability to jump over to the Longshot Advisor portal, which is where you can sign up to be a beta user, submit bug reports, or submit feature requests. You can request a translation if needed, and you can report a bug, and that's all through that advisor portal, which does require internet connectivity. So you will not be able to use anything in this other category while connected to your camera. You're going to need to disconnect your device from the camera and connect to your home Wi-Fi network, or if you're on a phone, cellular network, to have any of those links work. So that pretty well concludes the overview of the features of the Longshot app. If you like what we're doing, please take a minute and go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and leave a review. It really helps us more than you know. And if you've got any feedback, any feature requests, if you've got issues with the app, please be sure to take advantage of the Longshot Advisor portal. You can find that through the More tab in the app, or you can go directly to it online via advisor.longshotcameras.com. We hope you enjoy what we're doing, and we look forward to seeing you out on the range.